Welcome to the AI Coach. Today we are discussing, diving into Agentic AI, a comprehensive framework for autonomous decision-making by Panneer Selvam Viswanathan.
That's right. A really interesting paper.
Absolutely. And for you listening, if you want to quickly get up to speed on important tech, without getting too bogged down, we're going to unpack what Agentic AI is, why it's such a big deal, and maybe where you're already seeing it pop up.
Think of it as a shortcut, maybe. A way to get the core ideas from Viswanathan's work. He pulls out some fascinating nuggets.
He really does. He describes Agentic AI as a paradigm shift. That's a strong term. So what does that actually mean in practice?
Well, it's about moving away from AI that just follows orders, within strict rules. Agentic AI is designed to make its own decisions, figure out its own goals sometimes, and solve problems more independently.
So less hand-holding.
Exactly. It can adapt to complex situations without needing constant human input for every little thing. It's quite different from traditional AI, which, pretty much sticks to its predefined script.
And Viswanathan argues this capability is becoming really vital, right? Especially in our, super tech-driven world.
Definitely. Think about fields needing really rapid on-the-fly decisions. Things are changing constantly.
Like what specifically?
Automated factories, for one. Healthcare diagnostics, that's a big one. Even things like self-driving cars navigating complex city streets, they all need that continuous adaptation.
Makes sense. So today we'll try to explore the fundamental principles behind this agentic AI, look a bit at the technical architecture, how it works under the hood, and then touch on where it's actually being used right now.
And maybe some of the big questions it raises, too. It's not all smooth sailing.
Good point. The aim is really to give you a clear, hopefully insightful understanding of this powerful technology.
Okay, so where do we start? The core principles, maybe.
Yeah, let's do that. Viswanathan highlights several foundational ideas. First up is autonomous decision-making.
Right. And this isn't just like simple if this then that logic.
No, exactly. He talks about sophisticated neural networks processing information in real time, making choices at different levels. Sometimes it's a quick reaction. Other times it's more about long-term strategy.
Almost mirroring how we humans think, weighing different factors.
Kind of, yeah. It's that ability to handle complexity and different timescales of decision-making.
Which is a pretty big leap from earlier AI, which was much more deterministic. Follow the path, basically.
Totally. The second principle Viswanathan mentions is goal-oriented behavior. So agentic AI isn't just passively reacting.
It's proactive. It's trying to achieve something.
Exactly. It works towards objectives, breaks down big goals into smaller, manageable steps. And this is pretty cool. It can even adjust its priorities on the fly if the situation changes.
While still trying to reach the main goal, presumably.
Yeah, while staying true to its overall objectives. That dynamic reprioritization is really key to its autonomy.
That makes sense. Okay, what's the third principle?
Third is adaptive learning mechanisms. These systems are constantly learning. They don't just get trained once and that's it.
So they improve over time.
Right. They use a mixed supervised learning, where they learn from examples, and reinforcement learning, which is more like trial and error with feedback.
Learning by doing.
Exactly. Viswanathan uses web navigation as an example. The web changes constantly, right? So an AI navigating it needs to continuously update its understanding and strategies.
That continuous updating in dynamic environments is crucial. You can't just rely on old information.
For sure. And finally, he really emphasizes the distinction from traditional AI. We've touched on this, but it's worth repeating.
Traditional AI stays within its box, essentially.
Pretty much. It operates within fixed boundaries. Agentic AI, though, can dynamically change its behavior based on new experiences. It can function in these messy, unpredictable, real-world environments.
And ideally, still trying to operate ethically within that messiness, which is a whole other challenge we should probably get to later.
Definitely. Okay, so those are the core ideas. But how does it work? Let's peek under the hood at the technical architecture Viswanathan outlines.
Right, the components that make it tick.
First, he talks about perception systems. These are like the AI's senses.
How it understands the world around it.
Exactly. Using advanced techniques like sensor fusion, combining data from different sources like cameras, LiDAR, radar, and a self-driving car, maybe.
Right, bringing it all together to build a richer picture, not just relying on one input stream.
And it uses this fused data to build a detailed understanding of its surroundings. That includes immediate data, but also context from the past.
So it has memory, in a sense. It knows what happened before.
Yeah, that context is important for making informed decisions. Next up, decision-making algorithms. The brain power.
Where the choices actually get made.
Viswanathan describes layered approaches here, combining logical reasoning with probabilistic methods so it can handle uncertainty.
Making nuanced choices, not just black and white.
Right. And it allows for both quick, maybe rule of thumb type decisions when speed is needed, but also deeper, more analytical processing for complex problems.
Like shifting gears mentally, depending on the situation.
Kind of, yeah. Then you have the action execution frameworks. Deciding is one thing, but you need to actually do something.
Turning decisions into actions, whether digital or physical, moving a robot arm, making a trade, sending an alert.
Precisely. And these frameworks have built-in error handling. They can adapt to keep things stable and effective even if things get tricky or unexpected stuff happens.
Because the real world is never perfectly predictable. You need that robustness.
Absolutely. And the final piece Viswanathan highlights is the learning and feedback mechanisms. We talked about adaptive learning as a principle.
And this is the architecture part that enables it.
Exactly. The system constantly collects data on its performance, analyzes it, and uses that feedback to update its internal models to get better over time.
That continuous improvement loop, learning from experience.
That's what allows these systems to tackle increasingly complex challenges. Okay, so that's a quick tour of the architecture. But where is this stuff actually being used? This isn't just theory, right?
No, not at all. Viswanathan details quite a few real-world applications where agentic AI is already making inroads.
Let's start with robotics and manufacturing. What's happening there?
Well, he talks about autonomous mobile robots, AMRs. These aren't your old-school factory robots stuck in one place.
They move around.
Yeah, they navigate warehouses or factory floors more freely. They use context to decide where to go and what to do, rather than just following pre-programmed paths.
More flexible.
Much more. And beyond AMRs, agentic AI is enabling self-optimizing production lines, systems that can monitor quality in real time and adjust processes automatically.
So catching problems faster.
Or even predicting them, like predicting when a machine might fail based on sensor data, allowing for preventative maintenance. It's moving from reactive to proactive.
That sounds incredibly useful. The AI Coach by Anil Nathu probably highlights similar efficiency gains in manufacturing contexts.
I'd imagine so. Even quality control itself is getting smarter systems, learning to detect subtle defects or predicting quality issues before a whole batch is ruined.
Wow. Okay, what about healthcare? That seems like a huge area of potential impact.
Huge. Viswanathan points to smart medical devices. Imagine, say, an insulin pump that doesn't just deliver a fixed dose, but adapts the delivery based on continuous glucose monitoring and learned patterns for that specific patient.
Truly personalized medicine.
Exactly. And intelligent patient monitoring systems, analyzing vital signs constantly, looking for subtle patterns that might predict a potential crisis like sepsis or a heart attack before it becomes critical.
Giving doctors a crucial head start.
Right. And diagnostic systems, too. AI that can analyze complex medical images or patient data, potentially spotting signs of disease earlier or more accurately than humans alone.
Assisting the clinicians, essentially.
Precisely, augmenting their capabilities.
Okay, let's shift gears to transportation and logistics. Autonomous vehicles are the obvious example here, I guess.
They are, and Viswanathan notes they're getting better at navigating complex, real-world situations with less human oversight. But it's not just the vehicles themselves.
What else?
Think about navigation systems using real-time traffic data, accident reports, weather everything to constantly optimize routes.
Like the GPS apps we use, but maybe more sophisticated.
Potentially, yes. And broader traffic management systems for cities, predicting traffic jams and adjusting signal timings to improve flow. Even coordinating emergency response, getting the right vehicles to the right place faster based on real-time needs.
That could save lives.
Absolutely. The potential is significant.
And the last area Viswanathan focuses on is the financial sector. How is agentic AI used there?
Well, algorithmic trading is a big one. Systems that can analyze market data incredibly quickly, spot trends, and make trades automatically, adapting their strategies in real time.
High-frequency trading on steroids, maybe?
Something like that, but potentially with more complex, adaptive strategies. Also, risk assessment. AI can analyze vast amounts of data, market data, news, economic indicators to identify and predict financial risks more effectively.
Seeing patterns humans might miss?
Potentially, yes, or just processing far more information than a human team could. And finally, portfolio management AI systems making autonomous investment decisions, adjusting holdings based on market trends, risk tolerance, and goals.
That's fascinating. The AI Coach by Anil Nathu definitely sees finance as a major growth area for this kind of AI. The potential for automation and optimized decision-making is just enormous there.
No doubt, speed and data analysis are paramount in finance.
Okay, so we've seen the principles, the tech, the applications. It can't all be positive, right?
Yeah.
With such powerful technology, there must be concerns. Viswanathan touches on ethical and societal considerations, doesn't he?
He does, and these are really important. We can't just build this stuff without thinking through the consequences.
What's the biggest one? Accountability, maybe? If an autonomous AI makes a bad decision, who's responsible?
Exactly. Is it the developer? The owner? The AI itself? That's a huge legal and ethical gray area right now.
So we need clear frameworks.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Clear legal frameworks, transparency in how these systems work so we can understand why a decision was made. Audit trails are crucial.
And ways to manage the risks, I suppose. Keeping the AI operating within safe boundaries.
Robust risk management, yes. Making sure these systems don't go completely off the rails.
What about the impact on people? Jobs, for instance. That's always a big concern with automation.
It is. Viswanathan talks about the societal impact, particularly on the workforce. Integrating agentic AI will likely change many job roles.
So job losses.
Some displacement is possible, yes, but also the creation of new roles people needed to design, manage, oversee, and work with these AI systems. The focus shifts towards workforce development and retraining.
So it's about human-AI collaboration, finding ways for us to work together effectively.
That's a key challenge. How do we build frameworks where humans and AI complement each other's strengths while ensuring humans retain appropriate oversight and control?
In building social acceptance and trust, people might be wary of AI making critical decisions.
Understandably so. Trust needs to be earned through transparency, reliability, and demonstrating clear benefits. People need to see that these systems are fair and work as intended.
Which brings us to other ethical points like bias and fairness. AI learns from data, and if the data is biased.
The AI's decisions can be biased too, perpetuating or even amplifying existing inequalities. Ensuring fairness requires careful attention to the data used, the algorithms themselves, and ongoing monitoring. Diverse perspectives in the development teams are also vital here.
And privacy. These systems must handle tons of data, some of it sensitive.
Huge concern. Strong data protection measures, anonymization where possible, and clear policies on data usage are non-negotiable, especially in areas like healthcare or finance.
One last thing here, security. How does that differ for agentic AI?
It goes beyond typical cybersecurity like protecting against hacking. You also have to worry about manipulation of the AI's decision-making. Adversarial attacks designed to fool the AI or subtly influence its autonomous choices.
Wow, okay. So protecting the AI's mind, in a way.
You could put it like that. It's a complex security landscape.
So lots of potential, but also significant hurdles. Viswanathan also discusses the challenges and future directions, right? What are the main roadblocks?
Yeah, there are definitely technical challenges. Ensuring these systems are reliable, especially in really complex, unpredictable situations, is hard. System robustness is key.
And performance.
Oh.
They need to react quickly sometimes.
Right. Optimizing performance to maintain real-time responsiveness without sacrificing accuracy or safety. And just integrating these sophisticated systems with existing, often older technology can be a major headache.
Compatibility issues.
Always fun. Then there are implementation barriers.
Yeah.
Things beyond the tech itself.
Like regulations.
Exactly. Navigating evolving regulatory requirements is tricky because the tech is often ahead of the rules. Plus, the infrastructure needed sensors, computing power, data pipelines require significant investment.
So cost is a barrier too.
A big one. It's not just the initial development, it's the ongoing maintenance, updates, monitoring, potential retraining of staff. It all adds up.
Okay, so those are the challenges. What about the future? Where does Viswanathan see this heading?
He points towards enhanced autonomy capabilities. AI systems getting even better at making decisions in really complex, unstructured environments, needing even less human guidance.
More independence.
Yeah. And improved learning algorithms. AI that can learn more efficiently, maybe from less data, or learn new tasks more quickly, making them more adaptable and easier to deploy.
And integration with other emerging technologies.
That could be a game changer. Things like quantum computing could potentially boost the processing power for complex decision-making, or advanced new sensors could improve the AI's perception capabilities dramatically.
Unlocking new possibilities.
Definitely. In terms of industry applications, we'll likely see agentic AI expanding beyond the areas we discussed, maybe into environmental monitoring, managing sustainable energy grids, scientific discovery.
Creating new market opportunities.
Huge ones, especially for companies driving digital transformation. The innovation potential is vast. Think about breakthroughs in personalized medicine becoming truly mainstream, or maybe new approaches to tackling climate change. The AI Coach by Anil Nathu certainly emphasizes this vast potential for innovation across sectors.
It really does feel like we're on the cusp of something significant.
I think so. It's a very dynamic field right now.
So wrapping this up, our deep dive into Viswanathan's Agentic AI, a comprehensive framework for autonomous decision-making. Well, it reveals a really fascinating and fast-moving field.
Absolutely. From the basic ideas and the tech behind it to all the places it's starting to show up, and those really important ethical questions it forces us to confront.
It seems poised to reshape quite a lot of aspects of our world.
I think the key takeaway really is that this isn't just about making machines incrementally smarter. It's a fundamental shift towards systems that can genuinely operate, learn, and adapt on their own.
Though, as we discussed, challenges around reliability, rules, cost, and ethics are still very real.
For sure, they need serious attention. But the potential upside, increased efficiency, better insights, maybe solving problems we currently can't is immense.
Definitely something to keep an eye on. We encourage you, listening, to think about these concepts. How might agentic AI impact your own field, your work, or just your daily life in the coming years?
It's worth considering how we can best harness this potential while managing the risks responsibly.
Indeed. Thank you for joining us today. Visit the AI Coach website for more AI insights by Anil Nathu.